Well, here we are. Hello and welcome to the 1 to 50 Challenge Workshop Series. My name is Brian Richards. I'm coming to you from Brisbane. That's not Brisbane in California, it's Brisbane in Australia, of course. And I'm reaching out in particular to my friends in the US at this very challenging time, very worrying, not just for the US in particular, of course, but for the rest of us in the world. I personally have been very concerned about what's been happening in the States over the last several years for pretty obvious reasons. And I not just work basically exclusively in the US market and have done for over 10 years. I take great personal interest in what's happening there in the political situation, social situation. So it wouldn't matter if I've spent 14 to 16 hours in a day, work. My downtime is staying immersed in what's happening in the US. I think it's not just important for the US, it's important for us as allies, as friends, to take an interest. We're at a deeply concerning time in history. We're on the edge of a precipice in many ways, not just obviously from the point of view of the pandemic, the economic consequences, but certainly what a momentous election coming up at the end of the year. Again, not just for the US, but for everyone else who's concerned about where the world is going. So I just want to get that out up front, because if in any way you are supportive of what this administration is doing, I suggest you leave right now. You're not going to like the tenor of how I conduct this workshop series. I am seeking to help, in particular, content creators, but people I'm going to call conscious content creators, people who are aware, informed, rely on facts, rely on common sense and decency and fair-mindedness and respect. And I don't see those qualities evident in those on the side supporting where the US is going. So we wouldn't be good partners in any endeavour, including being together over the next few days, going through what is to me a very important topic, well beyond the rather dry label of content repurposing. It has a much broader context, so much so that I am devoting all of my energies, 40 years of business experience around this particular topic to help, as I say, the group of conscious content creators who are trying to do the right thing in the world, get their message out, not just as a commercial endeavour. That's fine, but if there is a particular message of truth and hopefulness and uplifting at this time, I think it's particularly critical those voices get heard in much more widely, more broadly in other platforms, other audiences, to try and move the ship, correct the ship, and take it back to a path of decency and respect for others. And I have special time and support for conscious content creators who are conducting that work. Let's get into the detail. I'm endeavouring to keep these sessions to 30 minutes or so. This one today might go just a little bit longer, because I'm going to have to spend a little bit of time just explaining how this fits in as an overview. And to enable me to do that most effectively, I'm going to employ a thing that's called a strategy map. Now, that's not quite as daunting as it sounds, even though your first impression of it may be that it is a little bit daunting. And if I'm looking over here, by the way, I've got 4 screens in front of me. I'm running solo today, so this is how I keep on track with what's appearing on the screen. So it looks like we're okay there. Hopefully the sound is okay. A little bit of housekeeping. The internet has been of variable quality, obviously, with all the demands on the various networks and platforms. I ran a lengthy live stream a couple of weeks ago, 1.5 hours. I had to do it 2 or 3 times. It took days because the internet quality wasn't that great on replay. And at that time, schools had just come back in all kinds of things. So there was extra demand, but hopefully the internet guides will be kind to us today and we'll be able to get through this okay. I'll check the replay later. All of these replays will be available. And in the worst case scenario, if it's just not up to scratch, then I will record replays if it's that bad. Hopefully it won't be. So let's see how we go. Now, what you see here is a summary of the key elements of what we're about to go through. There are 4 days of these roughly 30-minute sessions together. They're reflected here. I'll explain all these components in a moment. And then I'm putting on 2 extra bonus days as well, completely optional, not part of the core curriculum, but they're further applications of the concepts, and they're available. And so I'll talk about just how that's going to work in a moment. As I say, what you're seeing here is a strategy map. This sits on the StratMapper platform. This is my platform. I was going to release this commercially a little bit earlier in the market. A little bit earlier in the piece to the market, pre-COVID. I've decided to do a couple of things on the back of both the COVID experience for all of us, as well as what's been happening following the George Floyd, well, we can call it murder now, and the subsequent reaction. And so I've made some very significant personal strategic steps, and how I got to those decisions was supported by this kind of strategy mapping process. It's a visual way of just getting our heads around processes or decisions. And as I say, this is my platform. I was going to be releasing it commercially, and I've got a nice surprise for you in a few moments that I can tell you about. But essentially, let's start working through this together. In terms of the workshop series, the 4 days, that's reflected up here, day 1, then day 2 down here. They're kind of color-coded because we're going to be looking at specific topics on each of these days. Days 1 and 2, I've actually added this day 2 because of some technology that I think you're going to want to hear about. That's really quite profound, quite revolutionary. And it takes a lot to say that, you know, in a world with so many exciting tools coming onto the market every day, in fact. But this has really impressed me significantly to the point where I think it's going to help us fulfill a lot of the goals that we have for content repurposing all in one place. So we'll get to that in a moment, and we're going to spend a bit more time now on that tomorrow together. I'll be just giving you an introduction today. And then days 3 and 4 will wrap up the kind of formal part of this process, looking at a video, whether it's live stream or recorded, uploaded video, and repurposing that video in a whole range of formats to see if we can meet this challenge of taking one piece of content, just doing it once, whether it's live stream, as I say, or recorded and uploaded, and just doing it once, if we can get it into 50 different formats at least, so that we can then get it onto a whole range of additional platforms. Now, why is that valuable? We'll look at that in a second. So essentially, that'll take us through to the completion of getting our head around how to do this in the most time-efficient way possible, and the most effective way possible. And this isn't meant to be a technical series at all, and I'll explain why in a second. This is meant, in fact, to reduce the time and complexity on us. So even though we're going to be slipping into a little bit of technical speak, I'll only do that from the point of view of actually saving a lot of time and streamlining processes so that we can focus more and more on content creation, not on the technicalities that we may be burdened with at the moment. There are definitely some powerful shortcuts. Then what I'm doing, I'm adding on a couple of bonus days, bonus sessions. Again, roughly 30 minutes. We'll summarize the whole process by way of review, but this time we'll apply it not to a video, but we'll apply it to a podcast episode. So starting with the audio content and repurposing that into video format, as well as a whole range of other versions. So we can get the same kinds of benefits. And then day 6, even though it's a kind of video repurposing, because of the prevalence of Zoom sessions over the last few months, to the point where now Zoom has a higher market capitalization than the 7 largest worldwide airlines, really quite extraordinary. I'm going to be focusing specifically on how to repurpose Zoom sessions, whether they're just meetings or coaching, whatever they happen to be, because we can do a couple of things in particular with Zoom now that are going to make the whole thing far more effective and powerful. So that's the essential curriculum. We've got a few key resources and references. In terms of the key references, if you're here watching this workshop series, either live or on replay, you would have come through the 1to50challenge.com page, most likely. And on that page, we've got all the sessions summarized, and the replays will be going back onto that page, as well as other venues like our Facebook page, which is this one here, and also on the main website here. Okay, we'll be having a closer look at that in a second. Also, you're going to be given, or I will give you key resources that'll help you have a record of our time together. One is going to be a copy of these strategy maps. So as you see here in front of you, you'll actually have your own copy of this as a record, and you'll be able to open things up and have a look at them the same way I'm doing right now. So that's one kind of resource. The other resource is I'm going to create a set of checklists for you, so that this is the video one. I'll do the same thing for podcasts and the Zoom and this new technology we're about to look at. And so you'll have a set of steps, clearly defined steps. So the information will be available to you in both formats, this visual format and also this checklist format. That'll be available to you later on in the series. Who is this for? Well, if you've made it here, then you've already answered that question for yourself. But essentially, you're probably going to fall into one of these kinds of categories. You're a podcast creator, you're a YouTuber, you could be a media commentator, various kinds of content marketers. That kind of captures everyone. Coaches and consultants, authors, subject matter experts, ebook publishers, video creators, on-air personalities, webinars, marketing agencies, or the teaching environment, and many, many other applications. Most of us are producing content in some form or other. So whether you podcast, live stream, create videos, or write, we've pretty well got you covered as we go forward from here. And the whole idea of content repurposing is we take, if we just do it once, whatever that form is, we can then distribute that content, syndicate that content in a range of other platforms, whether that's on social media, audio podcasts, or by way of blog posts and various other options there. And of course, the fundamental question is, why? Why would we do it? There are a whole range of articles online that answer that question very powerfully. Some very technical, they look at the SEO side, others just a little bit more broadly in terms of having more impact their message. But here's how they break down typically. The opportunity, if you've got your content in different forms, you can reach new audiences. That can help you gain greater authority. I'm going to say a lot more about authority in a moment. We can revive earlier work. You could have 100, 200 podcast episodes sitting on a drive or on your host. And so how do we get more value out of that? How do we re-engage our audience with something that's 6 or 12 or 18 months old? It's still valuable, most likely. How do we get more out of that? How do we reinforce and strengthen the message? As you've already seen, I'm looking to help conscious content creators who really have a profound significance to the work they're doing. Profound in the sense that they're trying to influence people for the good, to help them get better results, to help them understand a confusing situation, to help them find clarity and move forward. Whatever that is, whether it's lifestyle or whether it's something, more in the social side of things, we are trying to, there's great meaning normally attached to the content. We wouldn't be doing it otherwise. And we're hoping to improve people's lives. So how do we reinforce and strengthen that message as much as we can, so that we're not just producing content and then it just kind of disappears? It kind of gets lost in that news feed, in that torrent of information that's coming through and hitting people every day. Overall, how do we just make the most of that effort? It takes a lot of work to produce quality content. And a bit more technically, content, really, SEO is all about content. How do you improve your relevance? How do you improve the authority of your content so it rises to people's awareness. Overall, how do you just save time and resources? It takes so much effort and time just to process content, not just create it, but then to process it. So how do we save time so that we can produce more quality content and get it in front of more people? How can we then ensure it has more shelf life once we've done all that? How do we achieve multiple goals? If we're just producing our content in one format, we might want to get into another audience, another, if it's commercial, another opportunity, get in front of more people. How do we achieve multiple goals beyond the narrow scope of that single platform that we may be favouring at the moment? How do we provide a chance to redeem less successful content? Because if we can get it on this other platform in front of that audience, that may actually be more fertile ground for our message. And overall, how do we expand the digital footprint? Now, I summarise all that by just observing the obvious reality that everyone is confronted by overwhelm. And what goes with overwhelm, both for ourselves as content creators, but also for our audience that we're hoping to find our content and digest it and then be impacted by it. Their overwhelm is that they are being hit by not just normal overwhelm, but of course at the moment, news feeds are full of multiple crises on every front: economic, health, political, social. It's an extraordinarily challenging time for a content creator to be trying to get our message out in the middle of that storm of daily activity in people's news feeds. So we have this overwhelm normally, and then whatever normal was prior to 2020, we've got this new abnormal, but it really is a new normal that's going to be with us now for the foreseeable future. In the US environment, of course, probably the most important election of all time coming up in recent history anyway, in our history. And these challenges are only going to increase. So whatever the rest of the year has for us, we are here as content creators saying, okay, we're dealing with all these concerns, but how do we still achieve our fundamental goal, which is to get our content in front of more people and impact more people, hopefully for the better. So I summarize it this way. We want to slay our overwhelm in the sense that we want to reduce the time and costs associated with not just content creation, but then the processing of that content, uploading it, making it available in the most digestible way possible for our audience. If we can do that, we can then expand our content production and get it in front of more people more effectively. If we can reduce the audience's overwhelm and then their ability to digest our content, we should be able to explode their consumption of our content in particular. In other words, boost the reach and the impact of that content, and repurposing fits within that context of being able to achieve a number of those goals. And we've got a couple of tools we're going to be looking at in particular that make this far more achievable than it would be otherwise using existing methods. So they're the essential reasons as to why we're doing it. I touched on authority just on those list of benefits, and I just wanted to tell a very brief, it's a kind of personal COVID story. The reason I mentioned authority in particular is I think this is how I will help people understand that content repurposing isn't just a dry technical topic. Because of all of the things that it enables in terms of that list of benefits we just saw, it's really just a vehicle. It's a tool that enables us to achieve our bigger goals. And one of the things I've been trying to do for my clients is to help with this broader topic of authority marketing. Back in January, I'd spent a month or two actually pulling this together. This summarizes a lot of the work that I've done over the last 10 years in the authority marketing space. And I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this. It's obviously quite busy. But what I was looking at doing in February was a promotion focusing on authority marketing And because of the magnitude of this exercise, it was going to go over 6 weeks. It's a $150,000 giveaway. If you just look at the left here, the first prize had 20 elements to it. And these fall broadly within this authority marketing space. And as the full impact of this pandemic became obvious to everyone early in the year, people were hearing about it back in January publicly, and we were talking about it here in Australia back at that time, certainly through February, starting to see the impacts of it and how important it was going to be to everyone. I felt that that time wasn't the right time to be conducting a 6-week promotion. It just didn't feel right. So in spite of all the work that had gone into getting this ready for release, I decided to shelve this indefinitely. And in fact, as I worked with the strategy mapping process and my own clarity, I've decided to focus on one service going forward, and that's content repurposing. So out of all of this, and this is just a snapshot of some of the things that we do, I've decided to focus on one single service, which is content repurposing, because it has direct implications for content creators getting their message out. And some of these things might come into play to support that going forward, but I think it's just easier to focus on one thing because to me it's so compelling. But what it is part of, content repurposing is part of this broader objective of positioning the content in the most authoritative way possible so it has more impact. And the way I summarize all this, and the way I did at the time, in fact, is the big strategic question associated with this whole exercise is how do you tell your story in a way that differentiates you and your brand from everyone else in the industry? It's really quite simple. And this is about some key concepts, and I'll just summarize them here. In many ways, it's about who you are. A lot of marketing I see is about what you are, your role. If you're a dentist, a chiro, a local brick and mortar business, when you're trying to rank on Google and all this stuff, it's about kind of being, the best chiro in your area and these kinds of things. A lot of authority marketing, though, is about who you are, so that when people search for you, they don't just see you're a good chiro, but they see the quality that you are as proclaimed by other people. And that's what true authority is. It's what other people say about you when you're not in the room. Making your compelling message findable online. Again, summarizing strategy, brand, story. These are the key elements that go into this. And it often starts with an interview. Not always, but that's what authority marketing kind of means to me in many ways. And content repurposing is a very important part of that. And so it's not just a dry technical topic to me at all. To me, it's an enabler to achieve those kinds of outcomes with authority being one of the benefits. So we've covered most elements by way of introduction on this page. Just a couple of things down here. I'm talking here about a surprise $500 giveaway. I've also mentioned that one of the resources I'll be giving you is a copy of these strategy maps. This is day 3. In fact, when we get to day 3, I'll show you how these strategy maps work. Day 3, if we go through this little portal here, we'll slip through a time portal. Not really. And here we are on day 3. So this is a summary of what we'll go through on day 3. Again, same kind of thing. I'm going to be having video explainers. I'll be creating these for you. So for each of these steps, following the live stream, you'll have a replay. I've done them. I'm actually going to re-record these just within the context of what we're doing right now. So sorry about that. That's what a strategy map looks like once we get into the actual steps. And my apologies for that. If it keeps doing, I'll turn that off. So the surprise giveaway is beyond just receiving a copy of these strategy maps. I'm actually going to give you a user account on StratMapper on the platform itself. Now, what that means is you'll be able to create your own strategy maps. You won't just have a copy of what I'm doing here. for you to refer to for this specific workshop series, you'll be able to go and create your own. And what I'll do over time, I'm going to be adding additional strategy maps into your account around different aspects of not just content repurposing, but some of these related topics of authority marketing and so on. And you'll have them just sitting in your account. I'll push them through to your account, but you need an account, for that to be able to happen, so that you can also go and do your own just from scratch or with some of the templates I might provide, depending on what the interest is. And the giveaway is, I was again going to release this earlier in the year, probably about March, as a commercial platform. And the entry-level user account on this, because I've got about 100 strategy maps in there, all kinds of commercial applications, just ready to be used. And so again, months of work to get it to the point of release, and with not just what happened with COVID, but also, I guess, with my increasing concern about what's happening in the US political situation, I felt personally, my own personal response is, even though I sit here in Australia, I kind of live mentally and in many ways emotionally in the US every day, and for many hours every day, most of my day. And I feel that I just need to do something. It's been frustrating me for some months, in fact, some years, as I've watched this so closely. I've been studying it this closely for years, particularly since November 2016, but a bit before that as well. And I really just want to give. I want to feel as though I'm helping in some way, and to stand on the sideline and watch what's been happening. All that time, it's been extremely frustrating to me personally. And so I'm now in the position where I'm thinking, what else can I give? What can I do? What can I do to help? How can I contribute? And one of the ways is I'll provide a user account. It'll never be, there won't be any cost ever. It'll be a lifetime account, and I'll continue over the weeks and months ahead, depending on the demand, to add more resources into that account that may help people, hopefully. So that's the surprise giveaway. The other thing I just wanted to mention before we'll move on to a brief introduction to this new technology, is referral rewards. And so what I'm going to do at the end of this process, we'll have gone through a very, very powerful sequence of steps that are going to hopefully improve anyone who participates in this workshop series, improve outcomes dramatically in terms of what's happening with their content. And what I'm going to offer is a full done for you version. So my aim here is to make it as clear as possible for people to do it themselves. But what I'm also going to offer is a full done for you service, a very comprehensive set of services using exactly these kinds of things that I'll be going through in the workshop series to help people do it for themselves. I'll do that as a done for you service. So that's the prize. So how do you get there? On this page, 1to50challenge.com, the details are listed here. I'm not going to go through it today. It's all spelled out in this little attachment here, but essentially, if you can help me, I really want to spend my time in the lab just creating content and thinking up ways to help people. That's really all I want to do, spend my day doing that. I don't want to have to spend all day going into LinkedIn and promoting and trying to get registrants so that they actually see this content. At the moment, I've been so focused for weeks. This has taken about 2 weeks of solid effort. I haven't even thought about promotion. But if you can help me, and particularly if you know people who are what I'm calling conscious content creators, people who are trying to do the right thing and improve the situation with their content, please let them know. Please let them also have the opportunity to learn some of these really powerful techniques, and also give them the opportunity, because if you win or if they win, whoever's referred the person, whoever's done the referring will also win the same first prize. So it's the only way I could think of to make it really fair. So don't be afraid to share this with other people. If they win, you'll also win exactly the same first prize. So that's all I'll say about referral rewards. But at the end of this, if you can help me in this way, get people along, let them know. If they register, you get that's how you get points. And then I'll be drawing that next week. And someone's going to walk away with a full done for you package of services for their podcast, for their Facebook Lives, their YouTube channel, videos, whatever it is. I'll work with them, and I'll enjoy working with you to get your content out there. And the referrer, if there is one, if there's a referrer, will also win exactly the same opportunity. So that's referral rewards. We've pretty much gone through our tour. So let's start drilling down and have a look now. By way of introduction, day one's content here is to introduce you to a new technology. Why is this so impactful? I think you're about to see. It takes a lot to impress me these days. Just so you know, my original degrees were electrical engineering and computer science. So I've been involved with technology for 4 decades plus. I was involved with technology before internet marketing came along. I've been a passionate student of digital marketing in all its forms over the last 10 to 15 years, going on 20 years. It takes a lot to impress because we have all kinds of amazing tools coming on the market every single day. But within this context of how do we just do it once? How do we just create content once and then achieve all of those outcomes we've just looked at here of slaying our overwhelm, their overwhelm, time and cost being slashed, expanding our content production, exploding consumption so that people actually get the opportunity to hear, read, see our content, and how do we have the maximum impact on our audience so that they can get better results overall. That's really what it's all about. This is a key enabler. This piece of technology to me is a massive breakthrough in achieving all of those outcomes. So what we'll do now, we'll have a quick look at how it works in practice. I've created a page on my website that will demonstrate it. And then tomorrow, day 2, we'll dig into this in a lot more detail and look at use cases, applications, and get a really good sense of how this works. It's a pretty low-cost tool in the context of all this, but it would be impossible to achieve these outcomes without it. And as I say, to me, it's a very significant breakthrough. As a technology nerd, I think this has just blown me away. So much so, in fact, I was going to run... excuse me for a second. I was going to run this content over 3 days here. But I've decided to focus a full day, roughly 30 odd minutes on this technology. It is so mind-blowingly powerful. I think it's going to make a huge impact on the marketplace. It's only relatively new. Its public launch was October last year. But it's really, I think, it's the right tool for the right time for all the reasons that I've said. The reasons why I think this is well beyond just a dry technical conversation. Never, to me, has there been a more important time in my career for quality content to find a louder voice, not louder, a richer voice, a more compelling voice to get to more people and have a greater impact. It is so important that voices are heard right now and not suppressed. And so this is one way of achieving that outcome. So what I've done over on my resolutemedia.co side, I've just added a page here for the 1 to 50 challenge. And I'm going to be adding these live streams here as they're completed. But I've also loaded up some test demo files. And I'd like to spend 5-6 minutes just introducing you to what it looks like on a live site. And then tomorrow we'll go into how you may be able to do something similar and look at a whole range of other powerful applications of this. But here, if you are using at the moment whatever the platform video player is for video content, it could be a Vimeo player, it could be a Wistia player, it could be you're doing it on YouTube or whatever. This technology, which by the way is called Searchy, has its own media player, and that brings a whole range of additional benefits into play. And I've loaded up some content, which you'll see in a moment. But just initially, if I can give you an introduction here. So we have our media player, and I've also added a search widget, which is just this piece here. And this enables us to search within our content, whether it's video, audio, and we can go and find an item of content, wherever it may be, not just in one video or audio, but it could be a library of video or audio. We can access that content now in an incredibly powerful way and do so much with it. And this little widget is a way to access that. And I'll give you a demonstration in a moment. This is just one form of how to introduce that widget. This is sitting on my website. It could be sitting on your platform, on your, pardon me, on your website. I've had a bit of a cold. It's catching up with me. This is another version of the same thing. This opens up a pop-out to the side here. This can be kind of like this, or it could be full screen. There's a whole range. You can change the look and feel of this. There's umpteen different options to customize it so that it fits into your environment. You could hyperlink it. I've just got a little hyperlink down here that could be embedded in a button on your site. Same thing, that'll just pop it out here, wherever you want it to be, on whatever page, in whatever location. This could be on Kajabi, ClickFunnels, any membership site, any website, basically, wherever you can put a script. And if you can put a script for tracking, Google Analytics, any of those kinds of scripts, you'll be able to load in this little search widget. So that's how it looks. Let's see how it looks in practice. With this, on a hot day, I'll just stop that. I've just put a simple little playlist here, and I thought it was appropriate to include Martin Luther King Jr.'s I Have a Dream speech. I've included the actual original video. On a hot day in August 1960. And also, I've got an audio, so this is representing a podcast episode, let's say. But if we just have a look at the video, there's a couple of things about this. I can introduce all the normal options on a player, for speed and full screen and all that kind of thing. There's a little engagement button here. If people like a particular portion of a video, that will go into your analytics later, and so you get some engagement feedback. There's a whole range of analytics, so you can understand what impact your content is having in the moment on people. So these are all the player options. But beyond this, let's just have a look at a couple of other. I'll just play this for a second. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. delivered a speech that would. Okay, we'll hop out of that. You'll see here there's a little search button. Find the civil rights movement and his legacy. I'll just stop that. So here you have a transcript. And what happens with this technology is that when you upload a video or an audio, it'll be transcribed immediately and made available immediately. So, for example, following this Facebook Live, I've got things set up that my live will go immediately into this system. It'll be transcribed immediately and within minutes made available to my audience to be processed in exactly the way I'm about to show you, with no work required on my side. If someone's trying to remember something I've said today about Brisbane or anything else, they'll be able to search for that and go exactly to that point in the video where I said it. So you can start to hopefully see some of the applications for this. For example, if we wanted to see exactly where Dr. King said dream, here we have the sections where that occurred. So we can do it here, and that's taken us to that point in the video where that where that happened. It also has isolated the same points in the audio version that I've got sitting in the same playlist. So I've only got these 2 files in here at the moment, but this could have 200 videos or podcast episodes.
But by the content of their character.
And it would do the same thing. It would go through the whole library of that content and find just where those references are. So we'll just shut that for the moment. I think you've got how that works. There's a few other options here. We could include captions. And again,
I have a dream today.
The March on Washington.
All the captions are happening automatically without having to send them away and getting an SRT file back, and maybe grabbing the one that Facebook does or the one that YouTube does, or sending it away to Rev or Otter or one of these other services. All of this is happening automatically, instantly, virtually in the background, and being made available to your audience within minutes of the completion of that episode, with no further work on your part. It's extraordinarily powerful. Beyond the player, and I've only just touched on some of the features available, if you have a search widget sitting somewhere on your website, let's say, and here it is in isolation, I could have it standalone. For example, I've just created a subdomain here, search.resolutemedia.co, and I've got the widget sitting there, standalone basically on a page, or a custom domain. So this is resolutemedia.help, just an individual custom domain for no other purpose than holding this search. And I could go in here, type in dream, and there we have all of the references in that. This particular widget is hooked into just that playlist of those 2 files, the audio and the video, but it's found them. We can click on whichever one.
Like a mighty scream.
And there is a portion of the video version exactly where that reference is, along with all the others there. And we've got a range of other filters. So that's really all I had time to do today. I've gone a little bit beyond the time, but I thought we might today with all the introduction. This technology personally has blown me away. I think it's going to make such an impact on the marketplace. It's going to help so many people get their message out, not just in terms of helping with the repurposing process itself, but reducing the overwhelm of their audience in accessing their content. If you've got hundreds of episodes of something, there's no doubt you often spend time either answering the same questions all the time, or you're trying to remember when you said something, or a lot of your support could be tied up with such and such said such and such. It is so difficult in the absence of this new tool to be able to address those kinds of demands in any efficient way. So massive step forward, and I look forward to going through it in a lot more detail tomorrow and putting it really through its paces. And what I'm going to do beyond this workshop series, I'm actually going to be doing a full forensic on this. I'm talking to the product engineer there. We're meeting in a few days, and I'm really going to turn this upside down and look for ways to really, as I say, put it through its paces so that we can extract the maximum value out of this for people that I work with going forward. And I'll be trying to deliver as much of that through this workshop series, through the strategy maps I'll be leaving with you, through the checklists, and also in additional information that I'll create around this going forward. Now, with all that having been said, it's still a couple of things that it doesn't do in terms of resizing assets, and that's why we'll need to step beyond this and just touch on another piece of technology, very low cost, very inexpensive, and both of these have free trials, by the way, but they're not expensive at all. So massive step forward, hopefully, and I'm really looking forward to you enjoying some of the benefits of applying this technology for your own content going forward. I'll call that a day. I welcome any questions, inquiries, suggestions as to what you might like to see feature in this workshop series. As I mentioned right at the beginning, I'm looking to help conscious content creators in particular who have a helpful message going forward that uplifts people. I've got special terms and very favourable arrangements for conscious content creators. If that's you, or if you know someone that you feel could benefit from this workshop series and the work you now see that I'm doing, please let them know. There's the opportunity for both of you to enjoy a done-for-you version of this service. Is worth thousands of dollars each. And day 4, when we get to that, you'll see just day 4 by itself is going to be worth the time you're investing in being with me on this journey. It's mind-blowing what we can do on day 4 to round this out. So that's the 1 to 50 challenge. Do you think we're going to get there? Hopefully you're gaining confidence that we can. And I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow as we really get into the detail of some of these powerful methods. See you then.